Okay, so this is our first session recording tonight. My name's Stephanie.
My name's Armando.
We've been married now since 2006, so we're going on 12 years this year and 13 years married, 13 years together. So we have 3 kids. We have twins that are going to be 9 and an almost 7-year-old. And needless to say, we have a chaotic home. We both work. We're both doing some kind of school or training, and we're kind of everywhere. For all those that know us, that's our norm. But we wanted to create this because we know, in conversing with many other married or couples that are together with kids, that life is never the same. There's always something that gets, thrown in and can just throw off the whole day. And I'm usually pretty optimistic. My husband can be a Debbie Downer sometimes. Something bad happens and it just snowballs. And obviously with kids, with work, with everything else that comes along with that, we know that it's hard to stay positive. It's hard to keep that faith. We're really strong Catholic faith. We were raised that way, and something when we got together just kind of stuck, and we're trying to raise our kids with that, knowing that, anything can be answered in a prayer, or, looking up and just remembering why we're all here, especially starting this the day after Easter. We're going through some personal stuff, and we're being tested right now, needless to say. My husband's self-employed. I've been going back to school for my bachelor's. I'm trying to get my teaching credentials while working and being a mom and helping hubby with the work. He's trying to do real estate. So we have our hands in everything, and we're very hands-on parents for anybody that knows us. We've coached, I've been team mom, I've coached, he's coached nonstop, and this is our first year we're taking off and just kind of taking a breather. We needed it. I think we needed that mental health season just to kind of regroup and refocus on the kids, because we were so caught up in practices and games and work, and it was like never a moment to just sit down and do nothing. Not that we ever have nothing to do, but there's always something to do.
Always something to do.
Or I always create something to do, I'm sure. But we're very hands-on. We enjoy sitting at the table and, conversing about how our days went and sharing about the kids, and high-low, and, trying to get them to converse and open up and let them know that we are their support system. And I try to do that with him and, throughout the day. And sometimes we don't have that time. Sometimes we're like so caught up in everything that by the time we lay in bed, it's like, that's it. I'm tired. I don't want to be touched. Don't touch me. I'm out. I'm dealing with some medical stuff right now. Kind of everything's up in the air. I don't know what's going on. And I needed to find some kind of outlet. And I'm excited about this. I'm excited to get on, hopefully every day, and share with you guys all that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a way to share with others that you're not alone. Sometimes I don't want him to touch me. Sometimes I want him to cuddle me. Sometimes, I want to scream at the top of my lungs at my kids. And other times I just want to hug them and cuddle them because I just love them to death. So there's no right or wrong in all this. We're all learning. It is a learning curve for everybody. And some it comes easier, some it doesn't. And I've been divorced twice prior to meeting my husband and having kids, and I'm glad. I'm glad it brought me here, but I don't plan on divorcing again. I'm in it. This is it. We renewed our vows 2 years ago for a 10-year anniversary, and it was huge for us. We finally got married by church, and we had the whole shebang and shared it with all those that meant something to us, and it meant more than I could ever explain. And not that it's wrong to do it any other way, but for us, to reaffirm all that, it was so important for me and our faith, and to recommit to each other, in front of our children too, because we're showing them, there is a better way to do it. And especially within our Catholic faith, technically that's the right way. And for us, that's how I felt. We both felt like we're not really married if we're not married by church, right? I'm doing all the talking and I feel like I'm just chattering on, but I kind of wanted to do this just to share. And I know going through different things, I wish that I had somebody to kind of say, you're not alone. I've gone through that. There's gonna be might be harder days, or that's nothing. You're doing good. You deserve a pat up on the back, and we have a group of friends here and there that we share things and we are able to bounce things off each other. But most of us don't always have that.
Well, on one thing that we can agree is that, when you're born and in life, there's never a manual, unless you buy something. If you buy something at Walmart and it's a stereo or something, then you're most likely going to get a manual. But when it comes to life and your partner and everything else, there's really no manual. It's like trial and error, and then sometimes you fail and then you don't want to try again. So I think the main purpose for this channel is to really share amongst each other from human to human, from human being to human being, because we're always so against each other. The human race is so against each other that I honestly sometimes feel that we were so united, the world, that human race was so united that I wish that something like independence would happen where the aliens were attacking Earth, because then the humans would stick together. And I think that's the only time that we would stick together, is when we were fighting literally an invasion from aliens. And that's sad, because we have to stick together no matter what. And this is the main reason why we created this channel, so marriages can try to survive, sustain, and really feed itself. You got to have a marriage that feeds itself. You cannot be in a marriage where you try too hard or not try at all. You have to let your marriage really take you, sustain you, and kind of like an organic garden that it just feeds your soul. That's how I feel that a marriage should be like. It should be so open that when you take those vows, that it was so seriously and open, and you were just serious about it, when you said, you are my only one and I don't want anybody else. And I just want you to be everything in this world for me. And that's why I think it's the main purpose of this channel, because we found something that drives us, something that sustains us. And I think the coal in this train is our kids. And my job is our job is to try to really drive that train without getting it derailed, and making sure it gets to the next station safely for everybody else to get on and get off, because that's our kids.
As many know, when you're dating, and obviously marriage or relationships go through stages, and if anybody watching this wants to kind of say that aha moment, watch The Story of Us. Find it. I shared it with my husband years ago, and it's the one movie that I can say, wow, it literally captures the different stages a marriage goes to, before kids, during kids, after kids, because we kind of evolve. And I know we're definitely not the same people we were 10 years ago. We fight differently when we do argue. But I mean, even now, I've had people tell us, like, you guys just kind of have this rhythm that you guys don't even realize that you have. Like I said, we really don't argue anymore. There's really nothing. Once you kind of learn each other's habits and you pay attention to those cues. I mean, if you're gonna still complain about the toothpaste being left open or the seat left up, I mean, every now and then I might mention it. But if I'm gonna get angry over it, I have bigger problems than the toilet seat. I wipe pee off my son's toilet all the time. I mean, it's life. I have bigger things to worry about. So it is like that thing, don't sweat the small stuff. But
just how you're going to prioritize your life and prioritize the things to do, you also have to learn how to prioritize your arguments. Mm-hmm. And what that means is prioritize what's really most important that you need to discuss. Mm-hmm. And even before going to bed and doing all that other stuff, because a lot of people, and you'll hear it with amongst couples, they'll always say, don't go to bed mad and blah 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 blah. And actually, you know what, it's very true. Don't, because you won't sleep, and then when you wake up the next morning, you're still mad, and you haven't let anything go, and it's just gonna ruin that day that you woke up into since the beginning. From the morning to the end, you're gonna be upset. So I really truly believe in that. Don't go to bed mad. Really try to practice what you preach. Like Stephanie said, please feel free to comment on this video. Let us know anything that you guys want to talk about, because we're more than happy to share. We want everybody to be as happy as we are, and to share each other.
And I think this is going to be therapeutic for us even. I mean, we can only all of us can only be better.
I think this is going to be our therapy. with your therapy.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
we
to
wanna-
do therapy for each other.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be some of the best ways. If you guys want to comment or even feel brave and post a video just like this one, that'd be awesome for us, you know? I don't care if you're across the world or if you're 10 miles away. You know, a relationship is a relationship. It's human man and human woman, you know, in it together. So let's try to be proactive about this channel. It's a positive message that we're trying to lay across. We really want everybody to stay together and stay focused and when they get married, because that D word is no joke.
Yeah.
You know, I remember throwing that D word around a couple of times, and my kids were very afraid of that D word. So, you know, focus, work through everything, and you got to turn into miners. You know, you got to dig deep and mine.
Sometimes those vulnerabilities come out and we didn't expect them, or start, you know, some emotions that we didn't even know were there, you know, insecurities, whatnot. But I mean, there's no shame when you're married. That person, you know, you got to kind of be all open and naked, because if you can't let that person see you and all that inside, then why are you there?
You know, and always take into consideration that the first step into a good marriage is you guys got to both be on the same page and understand that you guys are not mind readers. Okay, you guys cannot read each other's mind.
We spoke with friends
Okay.
yesterday that it was just a simple miscommunication, and
Yes.
and they would have been good, and we laughed about it, you know.
And again, we're not mind readers. I know
No.
I'm not.
No,
She's
no,
not,
no.
and she's not gonna know what I'm thinking unless I say something. That's why that communication is so.
Yeah, there's no
important.
shame in speaking up. I know I say it all the time. I'm like, what do you need me to do? Or what are you asking of me? You know,
Yeah.
I can help you, but just tell me what you want me to do. In that, you got to have that partnership. You know, we're not always going to help out and do things we want to do. But if that partner's asking for us, you know, sometimes we got to just give in and do it. You know, we know for the most part they would do it for us. So why not?
Learn how to communicate with each other. You know, really understand how each of you actually really learn. You know, some people learn by doing, seeing, listening. So there's a variety of things that you can do to communicate with each other to really get your point across proactively without getting somebody all panties up in a bunch and saying, "Oh, you disrespected me." You know, so again, words can be harmful. Use them correctly at the appropriate time. Communicating is gonna be like English 101 all over again. You know, and that's gonna be the base of this jambalaya that we're trying to make right now, because it's a big mix. It's a sopita. It's like a little gumbo of everything. And that's how I feel that marriage is. It's a little piece of everything, you know. There's no vegan, there's no nothing. It's a gumbo. There's a lot of everything in it. And that's how you have to take it in.
I mean, the biggest thing we hope you can take away from this is, you know, reconnect to each other. Maybe you're at a point, maybe you're just starting out and you're still figuring each other out. Or maybe you've been together and you're just at that way, like, I don't know what's left to do. Wherever you're at in your marriage, we just hope, because we've been at it all. Trust me, we've been at that point where we're just like, should we just end this now? You know, and thank goodness that we were brought, you know, closer through different things and able to get deeper into our love and our marriage for each other. Because I still love this man, even though he thinks I don't sometimes. But you know, we're just, I think we're at different places, but yet obviously our common goal is the same. But, you know, my husband goes to the gym every day and he's, you know, focused on his body, and I'm not so much there because I'm worried about the kids and dinner and the house and bills and work and school. So for me, I'm like, that'll come. And which is not always a good thing, because I do want to look better. Who doesn't? But that's an outlet for my husband. And I've had to learn, okay, his 2 hours at the gym is healthy for him. It helps clear his mind. It's therapeutic for him. So I had to kind of like, instead of getting mad all the time or saying, oh, that you could be here even though we're still asleep when he goes, I had to look at it at a different angle.
I think that the main success for doing what you want to do and still be married and be a parent, again, I revert back to prioritize. I prioritize my morning. I go to the gym at 4 a.m. That means that my kids are asleep. I don't miss anything because they're asleep. I'm at my gym working out at 4 a.m. and they're dreaming, which is the best thing for me, that I know that they're sleeping because I can work out comfortably. and then I come home at 6. So then I don't miss anything. So my priority is them. So when I'm at the gym, they're asleep. I don't miss anything. And again, you can do anything as long as you prioritize. You can work, you can be a dad, a husband, and still go to school, learn a trade or whatever it is that you're trying to do, as long as you prioritize. There's a time for everything. And remember, now that I've been married this long and I've been working and everything, now I say that the most valuable thing in that I have is not the money in my pocket, but the time. Because there's times where I stand around talking to people, and I'll spend 30 minutes talking to them, and then I leave and I'm like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get those 30 minutes of my life back. That was the most boring conversation in the world. But it happens. But
Yeah.
that's again prioritizing, because again, there's time that you spend that you're never gonna get back. And you don't want to spend it on the wrong stuff. Prioritize.
Yeah, but invest in the things that are gonna, give you basically results. You can never give too much time into your marriage. Something we struggle with because we don't just have a sitter, at the drop of a hat. So, but I mean, those of you that do have that help or that person or a nanny that you can just call at any time, I mean, take the time for each other because it's so important. I mean, we try. Or like Mondays when my husband's normally off. I mean, usually I'm home early and we're able to, hang out or we run errands together. But even just that, able to reconnect with no kids and no interruptions. I mean, it's huge for marriage because as anybody knows, if you're sitting at the dinner table or out at a restaurant, God forbid, with more than one child, and like I said, we have 3, our conversations are crazy and they're interrupted and we never get to talk about what we want to talk about because we're worrying about who's spilling what, who's drinking what, who's not doing this. It's like I said, it's chaos and it's good though and it's normal, but it's usually not for us. We go out for them. So we're even having to learn even now 12 years in that we need to make more time for us, and slowly but surely it'll get back to that. We've just seen things through different couples what works, and we've seen really successful friends who just kind of where I'm like, wow, they have it together. I do notice that their kids are older though, and they have help. So I mean, if you have that help, kudos, because it is a lifesaver sometimes, and everybody needs that break to just kind of take a breather. Whether, like I said, whether it's just to go grab a drink, whether it's to grab dinner, whatever is your, whatever works for you, do it. And make it a priority because that's going to help you reconnect. I mean, we're getting into things and we have things that we do together, but not as often as we'd like. But it does help, and it helps, like if you can plan a vacation, if you can plan a, a night out when we get to, it is fun, to kind of just, even though we end up talking about our kids, but that's being a parent, when you don't have them, you miss them. And then when you have them, you want to break. So I don't think there's ever a perfect moment, but I mean, we hope that you guys will keep watching and, stay tuned. We're going to throw it all out there. If there's a topic you guys are having an issue with, drop me a message, drop me a comment, and we'll definitely talk about it.
Just know that you're not the only couple going through it, and there's somewhere around the world, somebody's going through the same exact thing. And that means that you can reach out and have a support system that would actually either benefit or won't benefit, but at least you'll get to meet us, we get to meet you, and we learn from you guys.
Definitely. Or you share and maybe you get it off your chest, maybe you get a different input, or it might be somebody else that comments on it that's like, I'm going through that same thing. Trust me, we've gone through more than what most people know, and it is kind of a vulnerability to kind of just put it all out there. But I would rather maybe help somebody in one way indirectly or directly. In one way that I can help somebody, it would make all the difference, because I wish we had this. I wish we had that somebody to talk to early on in our marriage to kind of help us learn how to speak to each other, learn how to fight productively, or give us a heads up on how parenthood changes you, because it absolutely does.
Oh, you'll never know. You might reach out to us, and then you might think that you want to have a topic of conversation, and then you just helped us.
Yeah.
So it actually worked in reverse.
Yeah, or somebody else,
So-
or whatever it
so we
it
look
is.
forward to
If not,
hearing
we're
from you.
sharing. So let's keep it going. Let's share some info and what works for you doesn't work for you, or just you want to talk about. And we'll tune in
Awesome.
tomorrow. Have a good night, guys, and
Good
hope you all
night.
had a great Easter.
Happy
Stay
Easter.
blessed.
Bye.
Bye.